Hi besties, I'm Dana and welcome to Face Value, where we sit down, chit chat, and talk about everything beauty and everything in between. I'm pretty sure I mix up the line every single episode, but who cares? Originality is key. Today we have an episode that I've been meaning to do because it's actually the sister episode to one that I already did. A while ago, we talked about how to find the perfect foundation. Today, we're talking about how to find the perfect concealer for you. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in 3 steps. Let's get right into it with step 1. Step 1 is figure out what you want your concealer to do for you. Let me explain. So concealer has many different purposes, and sometimes we pick the wrong one because we're not picking one that's going to do what we want it to do. Let me cook here. Oh my god, the wind, I'm going to fight it. I don't know if you can hear this on camera. Girl, there's usually 3 things that people look for in a concealer, so hear them out and see which one kind of aligns with you best. Do you want your concealer to cover naturally, cover fully as in like fuller glam type of coverage, or do you want it to brighten? Those are the 3 main things that I've come across that people usually want their concealers to do for them, working as both a freelancer and a beauty advisor, ex-beauty advisor. Well, technically I'm still an advisor. I advise to you guys. But anyways, those are the 3 main things. Obviously, any makeup product has a million different uses, but those are the main 3. So what are you looking for? Do you want to look very natural? Are you trying to do full glam, full coverage? Or are you trying to add some contrast to your face? Once you kind of have that idea of what you're looking for, let's move on to step 2, which is also a step that was in our Find Your Foundation video, which is figure out your skin type, because this matters so much more than people think. Especially when a product goes viral online, people seem to think it's one size fits all, which a lot of the time it is, but sometimes it's not catered to all skin types, or sometimes it's not catered to all sensitivities. The main skin types are dry skin, oily skin, and combination skin. I personally have combination skin, depending on the weather, because when it starts to get hotter outside, I get oilier. If you have drier skin, you're going to want a concealer that promotes hydration. If you have oily skin, you might want to go for something a little bit more matte. And if you have combination skin, you might want to opt out for something that's semi-matte or a satin finish. And don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to give you some recommendations. Some good hydrating concealers is the e.l.f. Camo Hydrating Concealer. Actually, I'm wearing it today. It's one of my favorites. The Milk Future Fluid Hydrating Concealer. That's one that I don't hear a lot of people talk about, but I personally loved it, and you should definitely try it out if you're looking for something that's a little bit more high-end but doesn't feel super thick. And the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Concealer. That one is an amazing concealer. I love the coverage on it, and I like that it doesn't feel dry. Obviously it's hydrating, so because I put it in that category, I really love that concealer, and I would recommend it to anyone who wants a budget-friendly option but maybe wants to try out different things. For matte concealers, I would recommend the e.l.f. Matte Camo Concealer. e.l.f. is great because they basically have a concealer for every skin type, and they're super affordable and have great quality. Not sponsored, I wish. On the higher end, Huda Beauty has their Luminous Matte Concealer, which is really great for coverage. If you're looking for something that has more coverage and you have the oilier skin type, this one's gonna be your bestie. And a classic is the NARS Soft Matte Concealer. This one's actually a pot concealer, so you could actually apply it with your finger or with a brush. Either way, it gives you the best coverage. And again, it's matte. Just make sure that you close it right because you don't want anything to dry out too much. Now, for combination skin, I'm going to recommend the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Concealer. Prettiest finish ever, and I kid you not, I think it might be one of the best concealers for combo skin. So gorgeous. Shout out to e.l.f. for literally having a concealer for every skin type, and they all work amazing. If you're looking for something higher end and very luxury, the Hourglass Vanish Concealer, chef's kiss. It's called the Vanish Airbrush Concealer, and for a reason, because I kid you not, it'll leave you looking airbrushed. And the coverage is amazing. Another concealer I would recommend for you is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. I am a diehard Milani fan. I love so many of their products. This is how full glam I went in high school, but it was bad because I didn't know how to apply things, so I looked cakey all the time, but I never went a day without wearing makeup. I used to wear the Conceal and Perfect foundation, which is very thick. The Conceal and Perfect Concealer is very amazing, and if you're looking for a lot of coverage, she's gonna do it for you. Now let's go on to step 3. Think about the look that you are trying to achieve. Are you trying to just spot conceal areas? Because if so, you're going to want a concealer that's more true to your foundation shade or to your natural skin tone. And that's something that you really have to take into consideration when going in shopping. Grab a concealer that's truer to your natural shade. If that's the case, using your foundation as a reference for the shade is the best thing. On that note, if you're trying to brighten, as in have a brighter under eye and T-zone area, you're going to want to find a shade that's 1 to 2 shades lighter than your foundation. This is for anyone who wants to add a lot of contrast to their face, and usually it's people that love a full glam face. But even so, if you want a natural look and still want to subtly contour without using a bunch of products and stuff, you can still add dimension to your face without adding a whole bunch of things. Using a brightening concealer is one of those things. Or a very important category that is very much overlooked, I feel, is, are you trying to color correct? As someone who's dealt with a lot of hyperpigmentation and acne scars, I feel for this category because not a lot of people talk about it or educate on how to properly color correct. Whether it be covering scars, hyperpigmentation, or even tattoos. Yes, I've covered tattoos before. I've covered a whole sleeve of tattoos. Uses a lot of product, but things like that, color correcting will save your life. It'll make everything so much easier because it's all color theory. If you're gonna cover up something like that that's not a simple blemish or just to brighten or to even out your skin tone, you're gonna want to accompany your regular concealer with a color correcting concealer, which is those concealers that you've seen that have the cool colors. So it'd be like green or peach or yellow or even purple. Those are color correcting concealers if you've ever seen them. I know one of the most popular ones are the LA Girl ones. I know I've seen those absolutely everywhere because people even use the LA Girl concealers in deeper shades to use as contour. Very versatile. We love LA Girl. Now, I know picking the right color when you're trying to do this can be really overwhelming, so let me break it down for you. We'll go through each color and what they're for. And regardless of the one that you use, these are all gonna go underneath your regular concealer. So it's just kind of like your primer. You're going to use a green color corrector if you're trying to get rid of any redness. Like I said, it's all color theory and green neutralizes the red or any pink tones. So this is going to be your bestie if you want to cover up anything that has redness to it. Think your rosacea, sunburns, though those things you should definitely make sure that you're using a clean product that is not going to be an irritant, which I am going to make a whole video talking about clean products because I did get a request a while ago and I have it on my list of upcoming episodes, so stay tuned for that because clean makeup products are a gem. You're going to use peach to neutralize under eye circles and any dark spots if you have a light to medium complexion. And if you have a deeper complexion or a warmer complexion, you're going to use the brick orange one because it does the same thing, just is more catered to your undertone. And you can use yellow to neutralize hyperpigmentation across all complexions. Use lavender to neutralize any dullness on any warmer or olive tones. The wind is going crazy. I personally have used it to neutralize bruises. You know how they start to change colors from like the initial like purplish, then to green, then to yellow. I really like using purple to neutralize when it's like yellowing and stuff because it's literally the opposite on the color wheel. That's why these work. So let's say you picked your concealer and you're also planning on using a color correcting concealer. Let me tell you how to use it properly. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to use your color corrector of choice, and you could also use 2 at a time. And my favorite way to apply it is either dabbing it with the finger or with a brush. I avoid sponges because sponges usually absorb a lot of the product, and when it comes to color correcting, you want to preserve as much of its true color as possible because the color is what's doing the neutralizing, so you don't want to blend it and fade it away as you would your concealer to make it look natural. You want it to be more prominent underneath so that it can do its job. After you apply it with either your finger or a brush, making sure that you keep its color, then you're going to take your concealer and your foundation and apply it directly on top as you would normally. But personally, when you're using a color corrector underneath, I like to continue using a brush because that conserves all that coverage and avoids blending and mixing them together. We want to layer, not just mix. An optional thing you can do if you want to make sure that your color corrector doesn't move around, you can lightly set it with a translucent powder before applying your foundation and concealer. This also helps the longevity. It's not totally necessary, but you can definitely do it. Just make sure that it's a very, very light layer because you don't want to cake on a bunch of products. That's what gives us that cakey look, and we don't like that. And if you're not going to color correct, Don't worry about what I just said just now, and I am jealous of you. I don't always color correct, but it is so useful. I've run into this a lot, especially with like brides, because some brides want to not have their tattoo showing, so they kind of want to cover up their tattoos and then wonder why they don't cover when you just apply concealer or foundation on them. You need to color correct, especially if you have colored tattoos. I think the best one to use for that is the peach toned one or the yellow toned one. I've done a full half sleeve before and it was really tedious, but it works. I hope some of that yapping was helpful despite the wind that probably is shining through the audio, which I apologize. I think, I kid you not, this is like the 4th video where I have audio issues. I think I've jinxed myself somehow. I don't know if I've ever said I have the best quality audio, but I must have, because something has to be doing this for me, right? But anyways, I'm hoping that I get my stuff together in that sense. But you guys are my besties and I know you understand. If you want to know how I did my makeup today, make sure that you check out my tutorial on my TikTok page because I show you step by step how to achieve this look. Every single time I get ready for Face Value, I film it on TikTok, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. Follow me on Instagram for cool pictures of the makeup that I do. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna look crazy if you guys can't even hear the wind, which is a good thing, but I am kind of dying right now because of this. But anyways, stay tuned because if you followed me because you liked my long tutorials on this channel, stay tuned because they just might be making a comeback. Oh, what the hell? They're making a comeback, so stay tuned. I'm working on so many more episodes of Face Value for you guys and so many more makeup looks and tips and tricks, so stay tuned. Make sure you click the subscribe button and click the little bell so you don't miss another episode or tutorial or tip or trick. Follow me on Instagram, on TikTok. I am at Dana Belen across everything. Comment a blue heart under any of my posts and I will follow you back because I'll know that you came from this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye besties. The show must go on because I am the host and the creator and the everything says what goes, and I say the show goes on. That's showbiz, baby.